Welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and I've been absent for a long time now. But I wanted to shoot a video to update everyone on this piece over here and show you what I've been doing and some of the ideas that I've been having. It's been a crazy time. For those who have followed me and know, there's been death and quite a few deaths that were kind of threw me into a place of contemplation, and I needed to take some time to kind of sort through a lot of things. So I shot a video actually yesterday. It's very hot here. I'll edit it in, but otherwise you'll see me work on this piece. And I did try to get close enough so that you could see what I was doing. I'm trying out some new ideas, and I'm liking where this is going. This piece has been a tough one for me because, well, I think because of because what I've been going through, and it felt dark, and I didn't want to work on it, and I kept adding color, but that felt somehow false. So I just started cutting things out, and I'm at the beginning here. This is absolutely the beginning, but I'm starting to get some ideas, and that's been really nice, because if anything, I was just avoiding it. And maybe because my mom was the one who, I used to, like when I was a little girl, she was the one who taught me to do, embroidery with crewel and, the wool thread and everything. And she taught me to sew, and I don't know, so here I am now, and I hope all of you are well, and thanks so much for hanging in there with me. And if you're new, welcome. Let's get started on this thing. I was actually about to clean this whole area up, and I got waylaid on this. So this is a mess. We're not going to even film that. I am going to tackle the cleaning of this at some point, but for now, I'm going to start doing this. With typically what I've been doing is I start at the edge, and I'm going to just start crisscrossing as I go. I want to leave enough material so that when I cut it, I'm not cutting away any of the bits that I want to keep. So I have to keep it a little bit farther than the material. And I'm just going over this area. And depending on how dense or or open I want it, and I did change the density. So for instance, if you see here, it's much denser, and then I got looser and then dense again up here. And I think, and I like that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going here. And I like this idea of being able to see the wall and back behind the piece. I cut out this part and I've used GIMP to do a kind of stitching of the same width that the piece that I cut out was. I also cut out this piece and used a darker GIMP. And I'm going to cut out this piece and do the GIMP, and I'll do a more close-up of how I'm doing that so you can see. And then I have this idea, so I've used all these different materials, right? So this is rice paper, and there's this is newsprint, this is pages from a book, more rice paper. This is some, I'm actually not sure what this material is. It's a paper that I painted. This is also paper that I painted and then stitched over. This is actually some fabric, cotton, that I then cut to mimic the shape and stitched over that. And I did the same over here as well. This is a piece of linen. But I have this idea when I started cutting out the shapes. So, for example, this is the shape that was here. And I was thinking, and then this is the shape from this one. And I had, this was stitched and then painted over, and there's stuffing in here. There's quite a bit of stuff, and then machine stitched. I kind of like the idea of then, I don't know, I haven't figured it out, but somehow maybe using wire or something to actually make this float a couple inches away, sort of mimicking. I'm not sure. I'm gonna play around with that. But for right now, I'll start cutting this, and so I'm actually going to pierce, I think, in here. I think I'm going to go from here. I don't want to cut this yellow, so I'm going to go in here, I think here, and I'm just going to cut this out. And then I'm going to keep going. I think I might leave this. I'm going to leave it for now. I can always cut it away later and see what happens. Well, I'm going to cut here. And then I'm going to cut down. And it's a little awkward doing it this way, but it's okay. I can do it. I want to follow this kind of swoop. To there. And then I think I'll go in here like this. And that's the piece that I'm going to now stitch with GIMP. I've sort of been experimenting with different, threads. This is from Steph Francis. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's a silk that then is stitched around, and it's a cord, and I kind of like something, I want something thick, which is why I chose the GIMP. And maybe I'll just stick with GIMP. I actually don't know how much I have left. If I don't have enough, I may use this instead. I'm gonna have to use a really big needle, like an upholstery needle. I'm going to start stitching it while it's still up. And then I'll try to get in closer so you can see what I'm doing. And yeah, we'll go from there. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I wanted to get a close up, a closer view of what I'm doing. So I am going to use this material. I'm knotting it at the end. I'm going to start down here so that when I do, and I'm using an upholstery needle because this is really, really thick. And let's see if I can even do this. And I didn't want to have to end and start and end and start, so I've done a really big piece right off the bat. I'm going in about a little bit, and then I'm going to go down, so kind of like that. Let's see if this works. I have not tried using this for this purpose, but I did not have any more GIMP, and in any case, I kind of like the idea of doing a couple of different materials for this and not using the same material each time. So on one of them I did black, on this one I did the kind of off-white. I think it's Logan I used. And I'm just gonna twist it, and I'm gonna now I'm gonna go up quite a bit. I'm gonna do a very, very loose thing here. I'm not gonna do it as tight as these others because this is just much more challenging to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here. You know what? I'm going to tack that up so that it's not falling on me. This one, and I think I'll tack it here. I'm going to have to untack it when I get closer. Okay, so now I'm going to go here, down here, and I'm going to go quite a ways up. I'm not going to do this tightly. This is not going to be a dense weave at all. And I'm just hoping that this camera angle is good enough that you're able to see some of what I'm doing. There's just no way really to do this. And I don't have a cameraman, so, but I think this is good. I'm going to go down here now, in between. I can, and then quite far up. I may have to get a stool because this is getting a little bit high for me. Let's see. There we go. So I think now I'm going to go down and up. I could go down here and then come up here. Maybe I'll do that. but I want to make sure I go far up, like that. And then go here. Okay. So this is sort of the idea. Go up here, come down here, go up here, and I'll just keep doing this until I've got this space filled. This piece has been really challenging for me because I started it and I was trying to think what the chronological order of this was, but I can't remember. I painted this piece when I was visiting my friend Polly, and I'll put her, I did an interview with her, so if you're not familiar with Pat, she's a wonderful artist and a good friend, and I stayed with her at her house, and we just did a ton of printing, and I did a bunch of stuff, a lot of these kind of monoprints, and a whole series of things happened. And if you follow me at all, you kind of know. My mom died, and then my cousin died, and my cousin he walked me down the aisle. He was a father figure to me, and I really, I loved him very, very much. And then our kitty died, Merle, and Merlin died on Christmas Day of a year plus now. And I just felt completely devastated. I really felt kind of paralyzed by all of it. And I kind of went through a period of kind of questioning, I guess, who am I? And my mother and I had a complicated relationship, but we were also, yeah, it was complicated. And I kind of felt like I didn't know where she ended and I started. And it was a tough time to stitch. And so I threw myself into baking, and I'll put some of the stuff I'll put some of the things I was doing, learning to do, like cookie decoration with royal icing, and then that led me to airbrushing and stenciling on cookies, of course, and then I bought an airbrush machine for doing that, which is, you know, by the way, so much fun. I'll put some photos of what I did, and then that led me to cake decorating and baking, and then it just, you know, it just kept going, and I just, that's sort of where I threw my creative energies, much to my family's happiness. And then also in all of this, just about a year ago now, my husband was attacked and ended up in the hospital in the trauma unit of Bellevue. I thought I'd lost him. He had a brain bleed, a concussion. He was thrown down a flight of stairs. It was horrible, and I just I felt my mortality, his mortality, intensely, much more than even before. You know, when I turned 60, I started to really, you know, you're closer to the end than the beginning for sure. And so there were feelings of that anyway. And then my mother, and then Peter, and then Merlin, and then Richard. And I really went through a tough period of just not really knowing what I wanted to do next and where I wanted to go. And I thought of shutting everything down, you know, and then I didn't. I just decided, you know, you need to just do nothing radical right now. Just feed your soul. And so I fed my family, and now this last trip that we took to the Amazon River and then the Galapagos, really, I started to feel that old creative energy coming back. Like we were on a boat for a week going down the Amazon. They had these, they'd made them into napkin rings, and they were adorable. And every day, like every meal, they would have a different, like, you know, it would be an iguana one night, and then one night it would be birds, and one night it would be, you know, tortoises. And in any case, so I went to them we would go off on these tenders, and we would stop at and go ashore. And so at one of these, I brought a bunch of cash, and I bought a whole bunch of these little animals, and then I brought them home and I made them into napkin rings, and they are so great. And along with that, so that was sort of the beginning. I started thinking more about, you know, like, I don't know, it was a craftsy kind of little thing, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I think the thing about all of this is that I think we all process death very differently. And for me, it was a 1, 2, 3 punch, and it really affected me in an incredibly profound and deep way. And I knew that I had to change things. I had to make some changes in my life. Yeah, I just needed to give myself the chance to explore. And I felt at times really unhinged. I mean, just really, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know, I didn't have a good sense of anything. And so I just kept baking, you know, and that was amazing, because it was very therapeutic, and continues to be. And then, so I don't know, so you see what I'm doing here? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut inside here so that I get this effect. And I feel like, as someone who's always done something creative my entire adult life, it was really important that I not push it, that I not put pressure on myself, even though there were times that felt excruciatingly painful. But I just kept saying, you're gonna find your way. You're gonna find your way. I don't know if I found my way, you know, but I don't even know what that means. But what I do know is that I'm starting to feel that old kind of energy, that the passion and the excitement and that all those feelings. And I'm going to keep working on this. I'll cut and then show you when I finished it. But basically, I'm going to be doing this with this GIMP, and then I'm going to cut away, and I'll do a photo at the end and show you. You get to a certain age, people are going to start dying. That's just the way it goes, right? And we know that. And people you love. And then with each one, we sort of have to make an adjustment, really, depending on how close they were to you. in my case, you know, the closest people in my life other than my husband and my children. So, yeah, it's been kind of an interesting transitional period. All right, so I'm nearing the end. I'm grateful that I never stopped creating stuff. I'll say that, but just different mediums for sure. And oh, and then the other thing that happened was we went on this this hike. It was actually a 4-day trek up into these Inca ruins, and Richard couldn't do it, and I had to leave him and continue on my own. And it just reminded me of how much I love hiking and how much I need to do that more while I still can. And so that was a good thing to learn about myself, something that I hadn't realized. And yeah, so I'm, you know, here I am, and I'm doing this now, and we'll see where this goes. But I have some ideas about it, you know, and I'm getting excited about it, and I haven't felt that way in a while, so it's been really welcome. Okay, so, you know, that's kind of what I'm doing. What I'm doing, I have no idea what's going on with this camera. And I'll keep updating you and showing you where I'm going and what I'm doing and what I'm thinking as I move on. Good to see everyone. I hope everybody else has been well. And yeah, more to follow.